Bad. Put it down. Okay, so we got one more thing to do. Well, I got another thing to do. Because I thought it wouldn't be fair because of this set, right? We're done, right? Yeah, okay. We're
Yeah.
done with that. So it wouldn't be fair to do this set because there was a whole new mechanic added. So it wouldn't be fair if we didn't also do a tier list for the backgrounds.
Okay.
This is a lot shorter. You know, a lot less backgrounds. But I figured it would be fair to do this so that people see what's the whole hubbub with the backgrounds. So there's obviously a lot less. But enough that it's worth a tier list. Like, look, this is 8 per row, so there's over like 30 something backgrounds.
Sorry, I'm trying to find a list of them so I get. Actually, you know what? I know what to do. Backgrounds.
Are you looking on MTG the Gatherer?
Yeah. Oh, I guess it's not a subtype. I thought it would be a subtype.
No, it's a super type, right? Like treasure or food. How'd you get over
Huh. I'm trying to find like a good list of them. That I don't have to like search through like the whole set to find. All right. So what's the first one? Is the faceless dude?
Yeah, faceless one. This is a D, right? Because
it's meant for draft. It's not meant to be played with.
Yeah.
So that's Agent of the Throne. So commander creatures you own have whenever an artifact or creature you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, each player loses 1 life. So
yeah, that's good.
That we literally run those and those aristocrat effects to try and win the game.
Yeah, so that's
like,
that's A tier for me.
Like
so it does link it to your commander, but it's still fine, honestly. What's the next one?
So the next one is
it looks kind of
that one. Yo, tell me this isn't all of them. I don't think this is all of them. Oh, I hate this list now. Oh, wait, I have to go over the names and hover over them.
It's an uncommon. There's 2 black uncommon ones. Or 3, and we just did one of them.
Wait, scroll down. Okay, that one is Agent of the Shadow Thieves. Commander creatures you own have whenever this creature attacks a player, if no opponent has more life than that player, put a +1 counter on this creature. It gains death touch and indestructible at the end of the turn.
What do you think about that?
Whenever this creature attacks a player. Whenever this creature attacks a player, if no opponent has more life than that player, that creature gains death touch. I think it's kind of cool for like an attack strategies. I
I
guess.
feel like it's kind of weak. I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I guess it could be better.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the full list. Okay, that's much better.
This is a common blue.
So Candlekeep Sage. Commander creatures you own have when this creature enters or leaves the battlefield, draw a card.
Good.
Just
A?
ETB draws a card and leaves, draw a
B?
card.
B? Probably B or A.
So I think ideally you want it in a blink deck. If you have a blink Shenanay's,
Mm-hmm.
it just draws you more cards, which sometimes blink struggles with if you don't get your ETB draw stuff.
So you think A or B?
I think B.
Okay. Here's one of the mythic ones.
Clan Crafter. Commander creatures you have 2 mana, sacrifice an artifact,
Oh, yeah,
put a
this
+1
one's
counter on
correct.
this creature, and draw a card. Now that's an A card.
Yeah, that's correct.
Draw a card, +1 counter.
Might even be arguably like an S.
Yeah, +1 counter and draw a card.
Sack an artifact.
Which for 2 mana, which is, artifacts. That's so hard to do.
Yeah, with blue as well. So
maybe I will say for just backgrounds, that might actually be S.
Yeah. Okay, so
Commander creatures you own have at the beginning of your end step, if a creature card was put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, create two tap 1 green squirrel creature tokens.
C.
Yeah. Criminal Past. Commander creatures you own have menace, and this creature gets +X+0 or X the number of creature cards in your graveyard. That could actually be pretty. It gives them menace and makes them bigger. I think it's
B.
a solid B. Yeah. Acolyte of Bahamut. 2 mana creature. Commander creatures you own have the first dragon spell you cast each turn costs 2 less. So all those like that, any dragon stuff which choose a background, you could be like, I want to make them cost 2 less.
Definitely a B. Like there were so many like dragons that we saw that would want that. Like this one.
Yeah, that one. That's his background. There you go.
Yeah, or this one, the flash one.
But that puts you into green though, which is a little bit more awkward. But I guess still doable.
Yeah, it's definitely
so. Cultists of the Absolute, 1 mana. Commander creatures you own get +3/+3 in flying and death touch. Ward, pay through your life, and at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. So as long as you keep sacking creatures, your commander gets a huge buff.
We think B.
But if you run out of creatures, then you have to sacrifice your commander.
So C or B?
I think C. I also don't think the +2/+2 flying ward 3 is like super like +3 isn't.
It's also
as
ward
much
pay
as you
3
think.
life, so the life ward is terrible.
So his dragon cultists. Commander creatures you own have at the beginning of your end step, if a source you control dealt 5 or more damage this turn, create a 4/4 dragon creature token with flying.
See?
Yeah. Because it doesn't do it on its own, and you need a little bit of help to get it there. So Dungeon Delver. Commander creatures you own have room abilities of dungeons you own trigger an additional time. It's good for the dungeon delving decks, but they're already kind of like C by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Far Traveler. Commander creatures you own have at the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 target tapped creature you control and return to the battlefield under its owner's control. It is a blink effect. Does need to be tapped, but
doable.
B? Yeah.
Yeah.
Feywild Visitor. Commander creatures you own have whenever 1 or more tokens, non-token creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. So it's one of those like commander have to deal damage and you make furries, dragons. It's okay. 1/1s aren't super scary, but they are dragons.
B or C?
I think C.
I agree.
Flaming Fist. Commander creatures you own have whenever this creature attacks, it gains double strike at the end of the turn.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. There's some decently sized,
Yeah,
next one's Folk Hero.
That's just a new. It's a 3-drop too, right? What's his name?
Yeah, it's a 3-drop. Yeah.
That's good. That's good on its own.
So 2 mana for Folk Hero, which I also love the artwork because the shadow is a guy holding a big axe.
Mm-hmm.
It's showing his future. Commander creatures you own have whenever you cast a spell that shares a creature type with this creature, draw a card. It only triggers once each turn. It's white. It says draw a card. S tier. No, I would say S.
Honestly, it's not that bad.
It's for tribal and it lets you draw a card if you're even outside the tribe. I still think it's A because it's still only once a turn, but I get why. Yeah. It's still 2 mana.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Guild Artisan. Commander creatures you own have whenever this creature attacks a player. If no opponent has more life than that player, you create 2 treasure tokens.
I don't like this more life.
No.
I think that's C just for the... Okay, so...
The cool thing about them, though, it's only checking opponent's life, not yours, so you can never get, like, boned out of having more life, but I still just... It's still kind of just meh for me.
Yeah.
Hardy, Outlander. Commander creatures you own have whenever this creature attacks a player. If no opponent has more life than that player, another target creature you own control gets +X +X the end of turn, where X is this creature's power. So it buffs another creature if you're doing the whole attacking thing.
So I think another C, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this thing. This is the Undying.
So Haunted 1, 3 mana.
Undying, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Commander creatures you have, whenever this creature becomes tapped, it and another target creature you control that share a creature type with it each get +2/+0 and gain Undying at the end of the turn.
I think that's very good. There's definitely stuff you can do with that. A or S. Think of all the persist creatures.
I think S. I
think S too.
It's still free, like, shenanigans with it. I still think it's really good.
Wow, Derek, look at the mythic. Weird.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Inspiring Leader. Commander creatures you own have creature tokens you get +2/+2. This is only for token decks.
Which we did find some green cards, like the green one that taps tokens for, maybe you play this as your background and they all get buffed.
Yeah.
So probably a B, right?
Yeah, I guess it's fair. Next is Master Chef. Commander creatures you own have this creature enters the battlefield with an additional +1 counter on it, and other creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional +1 counter on it. That's pretty good. That's
very good.
That's an
A.
Yeah, I think it's an A because that's a what's his face? Metalwork. No. What's the copy thing that does that for creature types? He's a 2-drop. Metallic Mimic.
Oh, Metallic Mimic.
This is Metallic Mimic except for everything.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be creature type. This is Noble Heritage. It's another of the... oh, it's right, never mind. Commander creatures you own have, when this creature enters the battlefield and at the beginning of your upkeep, each player may put 2/+1 counters on a creature they control. For each opponent who does, you gain protection from that player until your next turn. I don't like this one because the creatures stay in play, and once they stop putting counters on it, now they're huge and you have to deal with them.
Yeah, so...
Passionate Archaeologists. Commander creatures you own have, whenever you cast a spell from exile, this creature deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to target opponent. So it is only to opponents' lives, but, like, you kind of want to do that. I think it's pretty good. I think this might maybe... this is a Prosper card, I think, more than anything.
So what do you think, like a C?
I think, yeah, by itself as, like, a background, like C or B, because I don't think there's enough to go with it.
Okay.
Popular Entertainer. Commander creatures you own have, whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, go target creature that player controls. I mean, there's a lot of gold, but
C.
for a background, yeah. Raised by Giants. Commander creature you control have base power toughness 10/10, and are giants in addition to the other types. I think it's A. Like, they're huge, they're big. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Scion of Hallister. Commander creatures you own have, the first time you would draw a card each turn. Instead, look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of them into your graveyard and the other back on top of your library. Then draw a card. So it's kind of cool. It definitely wants to be for graveyard. Yeah, it's... What's the thing? It's like what's that lich? Not Underrealm. Is it Under?
No,
is
that's
Underrealm lich?
I think that sounds right.
Yeah, which is pretty good effect. So I kind of like this card.
B or C.
I would actually say B because it's the first time you would draw a card each turn. So if you draw off your card, you're digging too.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
For an aristocrat deck, it's pretty good. This thing I think can do some shit.
Commander creature you own have 2 mana. This creature becomes a copy of another target creature. I think that's like either A or S. Getting it to become a copy of something that's really good.
I think that's us.
Tom, it doesn't say until the end of the turn.
I know, you can just keep doing it.
It just stays whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
So my question is, how does it work once it's changed? Because it's still your commander, right?
Yeah, why wouldn't it be? You mean like you're still dealing commander damage?
Yeah, because it becomes a copy of it.
The game knows what card is your commander. No matter, even if you give your commander to your opponent and they hit your opponent with your commander, it's still your commander damage.
Then the other question is if it becomes a new creature, because this effect gives it to your commander. So then if your commander becomes a different creature, does it still have this effect? Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, commander creatures you own have 3. This creature becomes a copy of another. No, it would probably lose it, right?
I think so.
But you could probably put it on the stack to, like, maybe do a weird thing where you're like, I'm going to activate it 3 times, have an activated ability, and then, like, use an ability in between one of the effects resolving. Oh, wait. It's the background giving it. So, no, it would keep it. It would definitely keep it, right?
Oh, yeah, it does. It says...
Yeah, why would it not?
Commanderness is an aspect of the physical card itself.
Yeah.
So it still has this ability when it becomes a copy of a different creature that is not a commander.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Because the status is attached to the card, not the creature name.
That's good for all the background cards, because they all say commanders own or have, so...
Okay. So Street Urchin is commander creatures you own have 1 mana, sacrifice another creature, or an artifact. This creature deals 1 damage to any target.
That's good. That's A for me. Having a sack outlet like that, like a payoff, is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Next is Sword Coast Sailor. Mm-hmm. Commander creatures you own have whenever this creature attacks a player, if no opponent has more life than that player, that creature can't be blocked this turn.
I'm just not a fan of...
No, it forces you to target 1 person, which may not be the person you want to attack.
Mm-hmm.
Tavern Brawler, commander creatures you own have at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. This creature plus X plus 0 in the end of the turn. For X of that spell's mana value, you may play that card this turn. That's kind of cool.
That's actually really good.
Yeah, it's getting value and buffing. I like that a lot.
That's an A.
And the last one is commander creatures you own have whenever this creature attacks a player, if no opponents has more life than that player, for each opponent, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token that's tapped and attacking that player.
See, I don't think these are that bad. It's just extra work is what I don't like. Okay. So that's the backgrounds. It's like 7:30. Did you want to call it here?
Yeah, I think so. And we're gonna dive in hard next week into deck building.
I think I want to do because there's still even some like streets that I want to do because these sets kind of came out too close to each other. But I want to get this guy out there 100%. We need to build.
I also want to see what we could do with the god next to him, the 1/2 over.
Oh yes, this
I want to see what you do with him. That card's gonna be crazy.
Yes. I completely agree. And there's probably not even... There's stuff that we're not even thinking at the surface level yet. So it's one of those things that you have to think about. Same with this. Because there's random target cards that you just wouldn't play normally that work so well with her. Like, people don't play Cruel Ultimatum. Like, they don't. So, like, but with her, why wouldn't you, right? Because it targets everyone. You get to draw, like, 1,000,000 cards. But, alright. That was fun. Doing the backgrounds was fun. That was a fun little thing.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like the separate part. But you could see where some of these kind of work well together, though, you know?